Let's talk about this. Everybody and their dog are trying to be a draft expert. Nobody, very few people have actually gone down to the Senior Bowl, have actually gone to college games, have actually watched these games, have actually done a little bit of this and a little bit of that to really understand what is going on. To really understand the whole mock draft, the draft aspect of it. It takes a special person to really grasp that. And truth be told, I am not that special person. I am not a person that is going to dive into hours upon hours upon hours of a seventh potential guard going off the board. I'm not that type of person. Now, next year, I do plan on going back to the Senior Bowl. I went this year. I plan on going back next year. I plan on getting media credentials next season. Next year, I do plan on trying to become that draft person. I'm going to dive deeper into this draft spot. But right now, no. Like, I support small channels, right? Small upcoming people, you know, the people that just like us, one streamer, two streamers, right? I support those people. I jump in there and I really interact with those people, trying to help them grow. And, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch my back type of thing. But there are many people out there that are just plain ignorant. They think they know everything. They put themselves up on this pedestal and they think they know everything. And it is so difficult to watch. So difficult to watch. I tuned off 3 shows last night that were talking about their mock draft is better than number. Why? It is what it is at the end of the day. But with that being said, cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? Let's go.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye here with the Man Hour. Return to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. Of course, check out the forum section as well. New stuff dropping over there at manhourradio.com all the time, or manhour.co, whatever website you prefer to go to. In the end, it is all the same, and it takes you to the same stuff that I've been putting out there for a very, very long time. Guys, this is a live interactive show. Talk your shit in the comments below, but be ready to defend yourself, because this is a Flashback Tuesday. It's not Flashback Friday. It's a Flashback Tuesday. I want a flashback of my game picks from the AFC West and the game in the AFC East for the 2023 NFL season. I don't want to talk about no more drafts. I don't want to talk about mock drafts. I don't want to talk about anything else but last season. Because we only got, 3 days left until the end of this Man Hour 23 NFL season. It is time to really just see what we fucked up in 2023. But if you guys haven't done so already, like the stream below, share it with a couple friends, and become a Pigskin Pundit like my man Jim Powell. Jim Powell had clicked on the link below, become a Pigskin Pundit. Jim gets some free merch every quarter. He gets behind the scenes footage. He gets some after hour stuff. He does get some film breakdown. I actually do break down film and watch a lot of film, but it is what it is. And Jim says, why invest the time, as in doing all these mock drafts and scouting the 8th guard coming off the draft board? Because it's all scripted in the end. It's all scripted, says Jim. Okay, Jimmy boy, it's all scripted. We got it, man. We got it. We got my man John Peoples in the chat. He is also a pigskin punt. He says, what's up, y'all? What is up, John? Good morning, good sir. And he says, facts, baby. Facts, he says. John says, there are some shit-ass shows out there that give people like me a bad name because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know that they are just talking shit out their mouth that is pissing me off. And John says, I love the jersey, Buck. I love the jersey. Yeah, you were talking about the Adrian Hutchinson jersey, what was it, yesterday, right? And I decided, let me go in the closet. Let me dig out the old Adrian Hutchinson jersey. And I didn't realize like how crooked the numbers were. I don't like it. But the Carolina Lions are coming back with their black jerseys this season, so I'm kind of excited about that a little bit. I do love me some black jerseys. But with that being said, guys, yesterday, about halfway through the show, apparently the stream stopped. So if you guys were watching and listening, like, oh, what the hell just happened? I don't know. We were streaming right along, and then all of a sudden, I thought I went to like 11:15 here on the East Coast, and I went to go push stop streaming and stop record. Is like 20 minutes in. I was like, what the hell? But sometimes shit happens when you're live, raw, and uncut. But with that being said, guys, I would like to flash back to my NFL game picks from the 2023 NFL season. I have the AFC West and the AFC East pulled up. Now, I did these game picks back in June of last season. So at this particular time, let's think about a year ago what just happened, right? We just had the draft. Aaron Rodgers just goes to the New York Jets. Randall Cobb comes into town. Dalvin Cook is a free agent, right? There are a bunch of free agent moves that are happening, and this is well before OTAs, well before training camp, but I have to say so myself, I think I nailed the New York Jets. This is my game picks for the New York Jets from the 2023 NFL season. I had them going 7-10 in 2023, and guess what? They went 7-10. Now, some of the picks are a little bit off, right? For example, I had the Buffalo Bills beating the New York Jets, losing. I had the Jets losing to the Bills. The Bills actually come back and won in overtime. Let's flash back. That was Aaron Rodgers' first game. 4 plays in, he goes down, right? Then I had them losing to the Cowboys. They did lose to the Cowboys. I had them beating the Patriots. I thought the Patriots were going to kind of be a dark horse team, and whatever, right? I, of course, had them losing to the Chiefs, and then this was kind of a surprising little stretch here, right? The Jets beat the Broncos in week 5. They beat the Eagles, go into their bye week, and then they beat the Giants. So at this time, the Jets are on a 3-game winning streak. Did anybody anticipate them getting through this kind of a gauntlet of a schedule, looking at a 3-3 team? Actually, they were a 4-3 team at this particular point. We're like, holy crap, Jets, no Aaron Rodgers, no problem, right? But then they lost like 5 games in a row. Ended up beating the Houston Texans, which turns out to be a pretty big win, and then split with Miami, Washington, Cleveland, and New England to end the season. But 7-10, that was my prediction for the Jets last June. They did finishing 7-10. So let me know, guys, what were your thoughts of the Jets of the 2023 season? Do you guys think that the Jets actually did a decent job in 2023? John says the Jets had high hopes to crash and burn. I see as a repeat same season. Yeah, I mean, when we looked at the Jets in 2023, yes, they did sign Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they did have Garrett Wilson coming back in his second year. Sauce Gardner was ready to ball out, right? Breece Hall was coming off that ACL. They bring in Randall Cobb, and I think McCole Hardman, like at the time, was there. The Jets were projected to be to the moon, baby. But I was like, no, guys, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. 7-10. James Chambers in the chat. Good morning, James. He says tight end Dalen Hawker out of Colorado State is this year's draft steal. We will see. We will see. There's also a wide receiver by the name of it's Mount Union State, the Purple Raiders. I can't think of his name right now. I have to pull it up. He's going to be a steal too. Jim Powell says as soon as the Raiders got a flat tire, as soon as Rodgers got a flat tire, I figured it was done. Didn't know how bad though. I mean, really though, when you look at the Jets, they really, for losing Aaron Rodgers, and then the first 8 weeks of the season being a winning team, being 4-3. I mean, not too shabby. But then the Buffalo Bills come into town. I thought the Buffalo Bills were going to just be a kind of a mediocre team. I thought the Buffalo Bills were just going to be a kind of just a blah team. And first half of the season to what was it when they cut off their winning streak there? To tell their bye week 14, I was pretty much spot on with the Buffalo Bills until they beat the Chiefs. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Chargers, beat the Patriots, beat the Dolphins, won a first-round playoff game versus the Steelers, and then lost to the Chiefs in the divisional round. But the Bills finished like 11-6. I was pretty wrong about the Buffalo Bills. I thought they were going to start off hot and then taper off, but they started off meh. Middle of the season, kind of hit the roadblock, and the end of the season they to the moon, baby, right? But like for how bad the Buffalo Bills season was, I'm not talking about the last 5 games when they started playing the Chiefs there, but for how bad they were through week 1 through week 12, they only had 2 weeks when they had back-to-back losses. Cincinnati and Denver. I mean, they rattled off 3 wins in a row over Vegas Raiders, Commanders, Miami, right? And then they travel over the pond to play Jacksonville, lose that game, that's still a BS game because Jacksonville had back-to-back weeks there. It's stupid. But then they come back and they beat the Giants. They lose to the Patriots, beat the Buccaneers, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Broncos, beat the Jets, lose to the Eagles in overtime, and then poof, rattled off. I thought they were going to be a subpar team. Well, not subpar, but 9-8. End up finishing up 11-6. Buffalo Bills. I got them damn near exactly wrong. I was not right about the Buffalo Bills at all in 2023, unfortunately. Jim says 7-10 is bad because we knew they had deep run potential and never fulfilled it for the Jets. So, me in particular, I thought the Jets. Let's dive deep into the New York Jets. I thought the New York Jets were a overhyped, overrated team. All through May, all through June, all through July, all through August, I'm like, guys, stop hyping up this team. Yes, they added some key pieces, but you know what? They're still the New York Jets. They still have Robert Saleh. I think the biggest issue with the New York Jets rinse and repeat system that they have here is their coaching. You can bring in Patrick Mahomes and the whole Kansas City Chiefs team. You can literally basically put Robert Saleh on the Kansas City, or let's put the Jets coaching staff and front office on the Kansas City Chiefs right now, and the Chiefs are probably a 7-10 team. I don't think the problem is the players with the New York Jets of what they had. I don't think the issue was the Aaron Rodgers getting hurt. I don't think the issue is Zach Wilson. Now he's with the Denver Broncos, but I don't think that was the issue. The issue is Robert Saleh. What has been the common denominator the last 4 seasons, and that's Robert Saleh just not being a very good coach. You can say Zach Wilson is a bust, Zach Wilson's this, but it is your job as a coach to coach your guy up, make him better, right? Zach Wilson improved a lot from 2022 to 2023. And it wasn't because of Robert Saleh. It was all because of Aaron Rodgers. Let's just be flat out honest about it. Now, you can say the system, the Nathaniel Hackett system maybe helped them a little bit, but Aaron Rodgers was the only coach on the Jets team last season. The Jets will always be the Jets, a 7-10 team, 8-9 team until they find a decent head coach. I do not like Robert Saleh as their head coach. I do not like their general manager, whatever the hell his name is. The Jets are just a cursed organization. I don't know. James says, I think the Jets will finish second in the East and fight for a wild card this season. Miami, Jets, Bills, Patriots. I am not ready to determine what the Jets will do. I'll do that in June when we come back. Right, the whole first week back, the first 2 weeks back, we'll be breaking down each team, each division, and I'll give you a prediction. But I don't see the Jets being any better than 9-8, to be honest. 2024 season, I don't see the Jets doing anything more outrageous than they did in 2023. 7-10 the last 2 seasons. Let's give them 9 wins. But second place in the East? No. Jim says, I am guilty of hyping up the Jets. I was on that train because I wanted to see Carr go there and get some of his man stuff back. So Andy Reid is the Chiefs. Noted. Yeah, Andy Reid's a very good coach. Andy Reid is a very, very good coach. If you do not have Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes is not Patrick Mahomes. If you do not have Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo is not the Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator, and the Chiefs do not have one of the best defenses in the NFL. If Andy Reid is not there and one of the best head coaches ever, Travis Kelce is still just a mid-range tight end. Now, Andy Reid did draft out Travis Kelce, but with the leadership and the coaching ability of Andy Reid, Travis Kelce has quickly become Travis Kelce, right? Rodgers will get hurt, same results. We don't wish injury, John. We don't wish injury on people, John. Who did the Chiefs play week 1 this year? The schedule has not been released. So, like I said, I had the Bills going 8-9, and then we had the Miami Dolphins. This is another team that I did not buy into the hype. This is another team that I thought they were going to do well. I thought they were going to be 10-7. They ended up finishing 11-6. Not a terrible season, but many people were putting this team as well up on this pedestal. 13-4, 12-5. They thought they were going to be the cream of the crop of the East. They thought they were going to be the bee's knees. They thought their season was going to be easy as pie. Why do people say easy as pie? Making pie is freaking hard. Have you ever made a pie? Making pie is tough, baby. But I had them going 10-7. I actually had them losing the first 2 weeks, and they actually proved me wrong. They actually did rattle off 3 straight wins over the Chargers, Patriots, and Broncos. Which, looking back on it, hindsight, I'm like, why did I pick that? Because they were both road games. I thought they were road games, and the Denver Broncos were just like bad, right? And then I thought they were going to lose to the Buffalo Bills, which they did. And then they rattled off wins versus the Giants and Panthers, 2 very, very bad teams. So pretty spot on so far. Lost to the Eagles, I got that right. Beat the Patriots, got that right. And this loss versus the Kansas City Chiefs, got that right as well. Man, damn. I'm pretty damn good. Wins over the Raiders, Jets, and Commanders. Boom, boom, boom. Got those 3 in a row. But then this loss to the Tennessee Titans. I had them beating the Titans, but this loss to the Tennessee Titans. Let's flashback. This is the second week of December game, December 11th, Monday Night Football. Miami Dolphins are at home taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans were a shit show of a team right now. We heard rumblings of Vrabel getting fired. We had rumblings of who's their quarterback. Everybody's getting fired. But somehow, some way, the Dolphins shit the bed in a 28-27 loss versus the Tennessee Titans on Monday Night Football. And then I had them losing to the Jets. At this particular time, I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be on the Jets, and I thought they were going to pull the upset. I was like, hey, division game down in Miami, let's make it happen. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins won that game, and then the Miami Dolphins beat the Cowboys, got that right, and then losses to the Ravens and Buffalo Bills to end the season. And that is the one game that I got wrong, really wrong, was the Buffalo Bills. Because I thought the Miami Dolphins were going to win the division with that win, basically, right there. And it did come down to week 18. Just went to the Buffalo Bills. Went to the Buffalo Bills. So I flash back to 2023 Miami Dolphins. I had them going 10-7. They ultimately went 11-6. Got most of the games right. Most of them right, except for the Titans and the Buffalo Bills were the two games that I got wrong. I guess in the first two games of the season. So there's one more game in there that I'm missing. Oh, the Jets. Yep, the Jets. But better hope it's not the Lions again. So the question was, who do the Chiefs play week 1 this season? And John says, the better hope it's not the Lions again. Why? So you guys can come into Arrowhead and beat the mighty Kansas City Chiefs, and you guys can gloat for 13 days about how you beat the reigning Super Bowl champs. We're going to the Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. And then they'll let the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl again. It's all scripted out, right? James says, it's not that they'll be that much better. Patriots are going to suck, and the Bills are going to fall off, and the Jets will benefit. So James, let's just flash back here. James thinks the Jets are going to finish second in the AFC East, and he's not saying that the Jets will be better, just the rest of the teams in the East will be worse. Timmy said the Dolphins are still a really, really good team. The Dolphins are a really, really good team. And this season, when the schedule rolls out, they'll have a second place schedule. Schedule will be a wee bit easier, right? So we'll see. We'll see if they can do a 12-5 this year for the Miami Dolphins, like John says. I think that's a very good possibility. I think the Jets or the Dolphins might be, hell, they might even be a 13-14 win team this season, to be honest, John. They have the best secondary in all of NFL. They have one of the best offenses in all of the NFL. The only weak point of the Miami Dolphins right now on paper, April 23rd at 10:23 a.m. here on the East Coast time, is their front four. And they could potentially nail the draft with their drafting of the front four. But I had them going 10-7 last season. They ultimately went 11-6. Now the New England Patriots. When I look at this, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my Lord. I thought the Patriots were going to be a 10-7 team last season. I thought the Patriots were going to actually beat the Miami Dolphins week 2, which they didn't. Actually thought they were going to beat the Saints week 5, which they didn't. Actually thought they were going to go into Allegiant Stadium October 15th, week 6 versus Las Vegas Raiders and win. They didn't. They did beat the Buffalo Bills. I got that one right. Yeah. I thought they were going to beat the Colts. They didn't. It was a 10-6 game. That game was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God, it was so bad. Then they went into the bye week. I thought coming off a bye week, they were going to upset the Giants, beat the Giants, lost another 10-7 game. Then I had them losing to the Chargers, 6-0. 6-0. Oh my Lord. Then I thought they were going to beat the Patriots or beat the Steelers, which they did. Actually had them beating the Kansas City Chiefs. That was a really, really good game. This is the point of the season when the Kansas City Chiefs were just like kind of like that sinking ship, right? there was panic all around. We don't know what they're going to do. Are they even going to make the playoffs like at this point? But the Chiefs did pull it out. That was a Sunday night game, wasn't it? Chiefs pulled it out. Had them beating the Broncos, had them losing to the Buffalo Bills, and then I actually had them beating the Jets, which they ultimately ended up losing to the Jets in 2023 to end the season, giving them a 4-13 record. I was way off on the New England Patriots last season. Was it the play of Mac Jones? Was it the play of Bailey Zappi? Was it the running game, right? Because when you look at the rushing game, they did not have a single rusher over 100 yards in 2023. Their highest rusher in a game came week 12, Stevenson, for 98 yards. Before that, their highest rusher was Zeke Elliott at 50 yards. Like, the Patriots were just so bad on every aspect of the game last season. Now, Christian Gonzalez did go down early in the season. He could have maybe helped their defense a little bit, because once he goes down, right, they give up 38 points, 34 points, 29 points, 31. I mean, he could have held that down a little bit, but when your offense was as bad as they were in 2020, 23, good Lord. But I'm eating some crow here. Had the Patriots going 10-7, ultimately went freaking 4-13. Wow. Eat some crow on that one, Buck. Eat some crow on that one. Jim says food truck just pulled up. What was everyone on but John wrong about while I was gone? Why the hell's a food truck pulling up at 10:30 in the morning, John or Jim? James says it doesn't matter who they play week 1 because they'll lose. Chiefs always start slow. Facts. It is the Chiefs defense definitely inherently starts slow, but there's such thing as a Super Bowl hangover, right? There's a such thing as we played a lot more games than the rest of the people in the NFL have, so let's go ahead and just ease it in there. We know we can turn the switch on at any given time. Let's just ease it in here. First 3-4 games, let's just slow it down, baby. Go through the motions. Oh. John says, playing in cold weather as well, they better win home field Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins, wasn't it? I remember when the Chiefs used to play the Dolphins and Dan Marino was the quarterback. Miami Dolphins had the old school helmets on there, and the Miami Dolphins were a very, very good, very, very good team. This was like late 90s, early 2000s, maybe. But old school throwback helmets, the Kansas City Chiefs were just not a very good team. But I remember this vividly, that if the first snap of the game is below 32 degrees, like, the Dolphins have never won a game. And I still think that is kind of true to this day. Have the Dolphins ever won a game when the game has been when the kickoff has been below 32 degrees? I don't think so. John says the 2024 Patriots are going to go 7-10. Listen, if the Patriots move out of the first round and they don't draft a quarterback in the top 5, which are sitting at number 3, I feel the Patriots are kind of in a tank rebuild type of year, right? The Patriots, they can go one of two ways. They can add a lot of pieces around the quarterback position, or they can get a quarterback. If the Patriots get a quarterback this season, I could see 7-10, 6-11. If they do not get a quarterback in the first round, or even the second round, they are another 3 to 4 win team. The Chiefs are stinking, though. Timothy, I've seen a lot of your comments. All these clips that I upload, all these shorts that I upload, it can be about the Tennessee Titans, and you'll be like, the dynasty's over. The dynasty's over. Why is there so much hate for the Chiefs? Aren't you an Iowa boy? Don't the Chiefs run Iowa? I mean, I understand. I believe you are a Chicago Bears fan. And I understand that you guys will never see another winning season. And I understand you guys will never see a 3,000-yard passer. But, damn. Patriots win 6 wins at most in 2024, says James. James, I think I'm with you. I think the Patriots are going to be bad. John says it was boneheaded Belichick was the issue. I don't think so. I think it was the offensive coordinator. I mean, that was Mac Jones' 3rd year, right? First year, he actually had a competent offensive coordinator, led them to the playoffs. I believe they were 9-8, maybe 10-7. Next year, who was the old defensive line or the Detroit Lions coach? Matt Patricia. He was their offensive coordinator. You have a defensive-minded defensive coordinator coach. They got fired as a head coach. Hey, come in, you can come in and be our offensive coordinator. That was a disaster. And then last season, they did have a decent offensive coordinator in Bill Callahan, right? I thought they were going to rejuvenate. I thought it was going to be a great mix, but for whatever reason, it did not translate. The Bill Callahan offense did not translate to the New England Patriot way. And maybe it was boneheaded Bill Belichick. Or maybe it was just it's just time for the Patriots just to finally understand, hey, we got to rebuild, and that's what they're doing, right? Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft parted ways. New quarterback potentially. The Patriots, Hoffy and the rest of the Patriots fans that I know, Wayne G, the success of the 90s and 2000s was fun, but I anticipate the next 3 years are probably going to be pretty shitty. I don't see the Patriots being like a quick fix like the Houston Texans were. Pays Andy Reid more to go to pays more than Pro Bowl players. I guess Andy runs out there and tackles guys, huh? So Timothy is mad because Andy Reid got a extension. Andy Reid's contract was up at the end of the 2024 season. And Timothy is mad that Andy Reid got an extension. My bad. James says it was the coach Belichick was the issue in New England. The most overrated successful coach in NFL history. I could tend to agree with that. And everyone knows it. That's why he can't find a job. Did you guys hear that rumor that Robert Kraft contacted the owner of the Atlanta Falcons saying, don't hire Bill Belichick. He's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah. They cried a lot when Marino was there. Sinking ship, says Timothy for the Kansas City Chiefs. John says he wants to watch a real game without favoritism toward the Chiefs. You people, Raiders fans, Chicago Bears fans, Baltimore Ravens fans, Buffalo Bills fans, Bengals fans. Every time the Kansas City Chiefs beat y'all, my Kansas City Chiefs, right there's the flag. Chiefs Kingdom rise up with the GOAT right there, Patrick freaking Mahomes. You guys always want to blame somebody. Oh, there was no holding calls in the Super Bowl. The 49ers had one. There was one holding call the whole game. Oh, the Chiefs get favoritism. That's why they win all of these games. I don't see it. Now, you can say it's the fandom in me, but I think as a referee, they could give two shits less of who actually wins the game. Their job's out there to watch a certain part of the field. Now, to say that every time, let's just throw a name out there, Rashid Rice runs down the field and doesn't catch a pass, there's a pass interference call on the left side of the field, and that back judge happens to be on the left side, I could see it. I could see it potentially, but it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Jim says the Patriots were never much more before Brady. Won't be much after. All the Patriots fans now are Chiefs fans since Brady left. Jim, let's not forget that Drew Bledsoe and Bill Belichick was a Super Bowl caliber team before Tom Brady got there. The year before Tom Brady got there, didn't the Patriots make the Super Bowl? Or at least were in the championship game. The following season, they were on pace to become a very, very good team. They were on pace to go to the Super Bowl, which they ultimately did. Drew Bledsoe goes down. Tom Brady comes in, week 11, week 12? Does follow up and actually win the Super Bowl. He did play very, very well. I don't get it twisted. But Tom Brady's younger years, he had a really, really good team around him. Good receivers, good defense. It was a team built for Drew Bledsoe, and unfortunately, Drew Bledsoe got hurt and lost everything. So flashback here. Had the Patriots going 10-7. They did not. The East final standings. I was thinking that the Miami Dolphins were going to get first place. They did not. Had the Patriots end up getting second place. They did not. Had the Buffalo Bills getting third place. They did not. Had the Jets getting fourth place. They did not. Oh, man. Those are some bad, bad predictions. Had the Jets spot on. Pretty close with the Miami Dolphins. Pretty close with the Buffalo Bills. Wrong about the Patriots. Man, look at this. Look at this. This was wrong. Bledsoe went to the Super Bowl with Bill Parcells. I did not know that. I think that was well before my football knowledge started to soak in a little bit. Jim Powell says the 2023 Chargers were a Super Bowl caliber team on paper. They was, and we all thought they was going to the Super Bowl, baby. Until they realized that you have to play the games on paper or on the field. Speaking of the West, Chargers. I had them going 7-10 last season. I thought they were going to open up and beat the Miami Dolphins week 1. I thought the Justin Herbert effect was going to go to the moon, baby. Well, they lost that game. They did lose to the Titans. They beat the Minnesota Vikings 28-24 at Minnesota to jump on the win column there. They did beat the Raiders, so I got that wrong as well. They lost to the Cowboys. Had them actually beating the Cowboys. Lost to the Chiefs, which I got that one right. Beat the Bears. Wrong. Beat the Jets. Wrong. Lost to the Lions. Got that right. Packers. Got that right. Beat the Ravens. What was I thinking? Nope. Got that wrong. Oh, beat the Patriots. I got that one right. Lost to the Broncos. Got that one wrong. Lost to the Raiders. Got that one right. Man, guys, the Chargers were so bad. So bad last season. They finished up 5-12. 1, 2, 3, 4. They lost 5 games in a row and lost 8 out of their last 9. 8 out of their last 9. Why did it take the Chargers till the offseason to fire what's-his-face? What was their coach? I can't even think of his name. Brandon Stanley. Why did it take them till the end of the year to fire this guy? They were 5-12 with a Super Bowl caliber team on paper, like John said. Jesus. The Chargers are so bad. So bad. Speaking of bad, Las Vegas Raiders. I thought they were going to go 6-11 in 2020 or 2023. They ended up going 8-9. They opened up the season with the win over the Denver Broncos, 17-16 at Mile High Stadium. Got that pick wrong. But then the wheels fell off the wagon really, really quick. Lost to the Bills, lost to the Steelers, lost to the Chargers, which I got that pick wrong. But then they beat the Packers. They beat the Patriots. Okay. Maybe we're turning things around. Nope. Lost to the Bears. Lost to the Lions. But then they did beat the Giants. They did beat the Jets. But then lost to the Dolphins, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Vikings. Got those 3 losses in a row, right? Vikings lost 3-0. 3-0. But then old Antonio Pierce, right? Got his first dub of the year over the Chargers, 63-21. Beat the Chiefs Christmas Day at Arrowhead. Lost to the Colts. If they would have beat the Colts, they would have been in the playoffs. Think about that. Beat the Broncos to end the season. 6-11. Ended up being 8-9. I was pleasantly wrong about the Las Vegas Raiders as well. I thought they were going to be a pretty bad team. I did not anticipate Antonio Pierce becoming head coach toward the end of the season. I did not anticipate them winning 3 of their last 4. I did not anticipate them being in the playoff hunt until they lost to the Indianapolis Colts week 17. Vegas Raiders have a pretty good potential of 2024. If they can get a quarterback in 2024, they could do some work. They could potentially do some work. Oh, but no hard feelings. I never have hard feelings. James says, for the same reason they left San Diego, they're dumb as fuck. Yeah. Chargers are the Oakland A's of the NFL. Cheap, poor, and nobody wants to root for them. Jim says, how are you going to say bad about the second place team, the AFC West champions? Not wrong, I reckon. Not wrong. Had the Raiders going 6-11, they ended up being 8-9. Pretty wrong about that. Broncos. This one. The Broncos were the biggest surprise on both aspects, I think. They ended up finishing 8-9 when benching Russell Wilson toward the end of the season. Middle of the season, guys, the Broncos rattled off 5 wins and won 6 of 7. Wins over the Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Browns, lost to the Texans at Houston, and then beat the Chargers. At this point of the season, we're thinking, holy crap, 6 of 7. This was fresh after them getting their asses whooped by Miami week 3, 70-20. Come back and beat the Bears the next week. They lose to the Jets and Chiefs, and then they rattle off 6 of 7. 6 of 7. Was it the Sean Payton effect? Was it the Russell Wilson effect? Maybe they just didn't have that bad a team. But for how bad everything seemed on the surface, they still finished 8-9. They finished second in the AFC West. I guess tied for second. But now, I had them going 6-11. I was wrong about that. 2 extra wins. But the simple fact of the matter is, like, man, looking back on it, obviously hindsight's 2020. When they won 6 of 7 with wins over the Packers, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Browns, and Chargers, why did they bench Russell Wilson? Why did they not try to make to the playoffs? All they had to do was potentially beat the Patriots or the Raiders the last 2 weeks, and they would have been in the playoffs. But they decided to start what's his face, Jarrett Stidham, right? Like, when I think about this, good morning, Caroline. Is Sean Payton a bad coach, guys? Is Sean Payton just not that good a coach? Because why are you in the heat of a playoff hunt in 2023, winning 6 of 7? Things on the surface look pretty damn good. Looking back on it, guys, the Detroit Lions have a top 10 offensive line. Russell Wilson just liked to flee the pocket a little bit. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand. Excuse me. Jim Powell says the Raiders do have a quarterback. Minshew is the snake reincarnated. Jake the Snake Plummer. I think his son played for Louisville last season, Jack Plummer. To think that Jake the Snake Plummer is a good quarterback, Jim, you think Gardner Minshew is a MVP. I think you and John have been hanging out way too much. Way too much. Caroline says, I'm late this morning. Good morning. You're never late. There's always replay. There's always clips. Good morning, Caroline. Jim says the Steelers will go deep the next 2 seasons. That city does that to you. I am a Pens and a Pang Pirates guy. F the Squeakers. John thinks the ego in Denver was the reason why they failed last season. The egos in Denver. The ego of Sean Payton or the ego of Russell Wilson? Caroline says he benched Russell after the Patriots game after losing, and I think Sean Payton is still a good coach. Was it the Patriots game that they benched? I don't know. Either way, it was stupid. Stupid to bench Russell Wilson. You could have made the playoffs. Caroline says, I'm worried about my quarterback room just a little bit this season. Caroline is a Denver Broncos fan. You should be worried about your quarterback room. You want to know why? Because you have Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson, and Ben DiNucci. And they're probably going to draft a quarterback. And they're going to trade for Dak Prescott. You heard it here first. Dak Prescott is going to be a Denver Bronco in 2024. I think the Cowboys are ready to take that dead cap hit. Timothy says the Raiders need Brady to take over the GM and draft a quarterback. So, glad you brought that up. Just because you were a good player does not mean you are going to be a good general manager, good coach, good in general, right? John Elway, example, for the Denver Broncos. He was not the general manager, but he was some type of general manager assistant. He was basically the front of the franchise for many, many years trying to get players in, right? The only thing claimed that John Elway did, besides winning 2 Super Bowls as a player for the Denver Broncos, but as a general manager, the only thing he did worthwhile was bring Peyton Manning in. Once Peyton Manning left, John Elway was the worst general manager, or whatever his title was. He was the worst at it in his craft. Now, I'm not saying Tom Brady would be a bad general manager. I'm not saying Tom Brady would be a bad coach, but I am not going to put the cart before the horse with Tom Brady. I don't know why Tom Brady wants to buy ownership in the Las Vegas Raiders. I really don't know why. I don't know why Tom Brady is even thinking about coming back and playing for the Raiders or the Patriots. Caroline says, I'm not happy with Zach Wilson trade. I really didn't want him in Denver. I was like, are you serious? Listen, Zach Wilson might be pretty good in Denver. You do have to realize he is a former 2nd overall pick. You do have to realize he had a coach by the name of Robert Saleh that can't do shit. Maybe Zach Wilson and Sean Payton are a match made in heaven, baby. He gave up a 7th round pick for the guy. What's the worst thing that could happen? He sucks and he gets cut. darn it, there goes a seventh round pick. I don't know. Brady got the Browns. Brady got Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, and Gronk to come to the Bucs. Did he? John Lynch ringing any bells? I'm not saying not all players are bad general managers. John Lynch has obviously done his work. John Lynch has done great in San Francisco. Built it from the ground up. John Lynch is definitely an outlier. But besides John Lynch, give me one player that has been a good general manager. I'll wait. Because I legit cannot think of any right now. Was Ozzie Newsome a good general manager? He was a decent player. But was he a good general manager? I don't know. I hope Sean Payton can make Zach Wilson good. Me too. But I did have the Broncos going 6-11. They finished 8-9 last season. And obviously the final team of the AFC West are the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually had them going 11-6 in 2023. I thought they were going to kind of struggle a little bit, right? I thought they were going to kind of just be a team that's just kind of there, but there at the end. And I was exactly right. I was exactly right with the Kansas City Chiefs. They did finish the season 11-6. They did lose to the Lions week 1. I did not see that coming. And they did beat Jacksonville Jaguars week 2. I did not see that coming either. But I had them beating the Bears, which they did. Had them beating the Jets, which they did. Had them losing to the Vikings, which they did not. They beat the Vikings. They beat the Broncos, which I got that right. Got the Chargers. And then they lost to the Broncos week before Halloween. Did not see that coming. Did not see Patrick Mahomes and the boys going to Mile High Stadium and losing that game. Had them beating Miami. Had them beating Philly, which they ultimately lost that game. This was the game when we're like, oh shit, the wheels are falling off, right? The wheels are falling off because the Kansas City Chiefs, as they did win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They won 8 of 10. That loss to the Philadelphia Eagles were like, oh man, this is bad. This is bad, right? Bounce back, beat the Raiders, had that pick correct. Had them losing to the Packers, got that correct. Had them beating the Buffalo Bills, got that pick wrong. This was a tough stretch for them. Miami, Philly, Raiders, Packers, Buffalo. Tough stretch. Had them losing to the Patriots. They actually pulled that game out. Had them beating the Raiders. Lost that game Christmas Day. Ouch. Had them losing to the Bengals. They won that game. Had them losing to the Chargers to end the season. They won that game. I got their games right. 11-6, just a wee bit off. But they are Super Bowl champions. They are back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Going for a 3-peat, baby. 11-6. Not too shabby. Spot on. Al Davis. I didn't know Al Davis played football. John People says, so I asked the question of name me a good player that was a good GM. And John says, before your time, Norm Vanderbroekelen. I have no idea who that is. Jim Powell says, Matt Millen laid the groundwork for what the Lions are now. Are you serious? Was it Matt Millen, the coach that led them to a 0-16? John thinks 2024 the Chiefs are going to go 10-7 and the Raiders will be 12-5. Okay. Whatever you think, boss. All right, guys, that's a little bit of flashback of the AFC West and AFC East. Tomorrow, we're going to dive a little bit into the draft. We're going to talk about the Raiders draft. We're going to talk about the Broncos draft. We're going to talk about the Chiefs draft and the Chargers draft. What do they need to do in 2024 NFL drafts, which is 2 days away? 2 days away for your team to make the most boneheaded mistake ever. Talking to you, Beastie Combs, Chicago Bears fans. Are you guys ready to fail in the draft? It is what it is. But we'll see you guys next time. Right here, live, raw, uncut. 2 days left, guys. We have Wednesday and we have Thursday. And then we out. We out. Until then, see you guys tomorrow.